and Taeyong, our awesome, long-suffering cameraman. Today we're going to be riding on this wonderful, cool evening here in Seoul. It's what's the date today, Kev?
Today is the 4th.
Third. It's the 3rd of September. It's 6:30
4.
and 6:34, and we're here standing on Gwanthong Bridge, which is the main crossing of the main river through the old city of Seoul, which used to be called Hwasong. It used to be called Hwasong. No, it didn't.
What?
Hansong.
Hansong.
Sorry, it used to be called Hansong. Brain fart. So here we are in this really important spot in Seoul on Cheonggyecheon River, and we're going to be following Cheonggyecheon River down towards the Eastgate. On the way we're going to see some cool spots. As you can see around us, everyone's finishing work. Let's find out where they're going to hang out. Some of them will be hanging out here by the Cheonggyecheon River. Some of them will be hanging out at the spot we'll be riding through shortly called Nogari Golmok. Then we'll visit a market where we'll sample some Korean street food. We'll go from there all the way down to the DDP, where we'll see Zaha Hadid's amazing building, the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. We'll also visit the city wall there, and we'll see the East Gate, the historic gates to the city. Then we'll head back, and at that time it should be nice and dark. All the city lights will be on, so it'll be quite atmospheric. We'll visit a little neighborhood that's famous for being a commercial neighborhood, yet have traditional housing. It's called Ikseongdong. I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be ending the tour somewhere around here in this district of Jongdo.
Joge Temple.
Not forgetting Joge Temple, thank you, Kevin. Our last stop is Joge Temple, so look forward to that too. It's always really, really atmospheric at night. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I know we will. We're dying to get riding on our e-bikes. Are you ready, Kev?
Yeah.
All right, are you ready, Taeyong?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. We've got Looney over here. Bike lane. We're riding past the tourism organization building just on our right here, which is pretty empty these days without the tourists. Street stuff, we have the tourists, but you'll notice there are quite a few people. And this bike lane, rather handily, takes us right there. It follows the Cheonggyecheon River. It's probably the only bike lane in the country that's on the left-hand side, which does cause a little bit of confusion with the cars. But it's raised up off street level, so off the road level, so it's nice and safe. Going along this bike lane, just keep going. I'd hit the river. If I made a left there, kept going, I could ride a bike lane like this, the southern tip of the which I've done on 2 occasions. It's a pretty bike ride, 100 kilometers that have such. So this gentleman in front of me is riding a city bike called the Daringi. Daringi is a cute name given to the Seoul city bikes, which you can borrow. I think it's, how much is it for an hour? Like a $1,000, about $1.
$10.
$1 for an hour. And Daringi is the sounds that a bicycle makes as you ride it. So that's how it gets the name. We are going to go down this alley here. I'll meet you guys there. These shops, you can see hardware like building materials, cement, tiles, all that kind of stuff. And we've just left the white collar area with all the offices, and we're into this kind of blue collar area that's shutting down for the evening. And what you'll see is once those places have closed down selling tiles and materials, they open up into they've put out these plastic chairs in the street, and those white collar workers and the blue collar workers will congregate here and enjoy dried fish with beer or chicken. And that's what we're seeing here. This dried fish is called nogari, and as a result, this alley is called Nogari Golmok, which means dried fish alley. 지나가겠습니다. 안녕하세요. So it might be alarming to some people that all these people are out and in such close proximity during this corona pandemic. That neighborhood was shut down for a period when things were really bad, but people need to relax and let loose. So as soon as restrictions were lightened a little bit, everyone's kind of gone back. But it's nowhere near as busy as it was before. We would not be able to ride down that road on a regular day in a non-corona season. It would just be full of people sitting on tables, plastic chairs. It's quite an atmosphere. It's almost like Oktoberfest, or what I would imagine Oktoberfest to be like. So now we've seen where everyone goes to hang out. Let's go and check out a cool and very famous street market. And on the way, we'll swing by an interesting building, Seoul, which is just down the way, where that bridge is over there. Seoul is one part of a long building that stretches across the whole river valley here, from the north side to the south. And it's somewhat a defense structure. Some might say it was built in the late 60s, 70s. And some argue that it is a defensive structure, so that if there was an attack down this alley, you could collapse the building. But it was, all right. A lot of money the government's investing a lot of money into the building to breathe new life into the structure. So we'll see also like in here. Alongside the old industries, which is it's mainly electronics. So this particular part of the building is called Seoul Plaza, and as a thing, we'll also see, if you were to go up in through the building, you see some coffee shops and restaurants that have appeared in recent years, and there's even a maker space where you can hire tools and make whatever you like, 3D print out in plastic, etc. So we've cut through Seoul Plaza, and we're on probably one of Seoul's busiest streets now. Over there. There it is, Seoul Plaza. It's called Maker City because of that Maker's Lab that's on the top floor. It's also got this awesome rooftop with a great view. So there is a bike lane, it's a share row here on this street, and it's rush hour now, so here I am riding amongst the traffic. I'll get my own bike lane in just a little bit. Should we go in this entrance or the side entrance? This one? Okay. So this is the main entrance to Gwangjang Market. There is a side entrance as well that takes you directly to the food. But if we go in this way, we're going to go past a lot of sections that are actually closed at the moment. Shops that sell fabrics and clothes. The second floor sells like vintage clothing and hanbok, the Korean traditional attire. But further down, you'll soon see in the market, you'll find that there's a street food section, which has been frequented by various American presidents. I think Obama came here once, did he? There was a Netflix series done on it. Gordon Ramsay's visited here. So it's kind of the go-to Korean street food experience. There's this small section here. There's a small section here of street food that we're going to squeeze through. Here we go. I don't think you can come any further. We'll see you at the side exit. Okay. I should probably walk the bike from here. Come on over here. This is the squid tanks, and these squid will be chopped up like in the picture up here and served raw and live on, well, you have a choice to have them by themselves or with a base of raw beef, which is kind of like a beef tartare. Of course, there's other options as well. There's the beef stew and galbitang. This is the raw beef and liver. 안녕하세요. Oh, 죄송합니다. This looks like an experiment gone wrong. I always wonder what's going on with this fish. Those fish are sold in like strings of garlic almost. They're dried out like that and sold to be rehydrated and used in soups. This place sells mainly fish-based fish cakes, it's Korean snacks. These things are delicious, I must say. It's like a fried rice. I think it's made of flour, wheat flour, is it? But it's got honey in there and sesame seed. It's just and deep fried. You can't go wrong. These are all the delicious kimchi side dishes. There's various different types of kimchi here. 안녕하세요. 오, 파김치 맛있겠다. Then this store, which sells rice cakes and lots of delicious Korean snacks. Again, Korean chips. And of course, Korean style beef jerky. Yum yum. Actually, come down this way. This is kind of cool. I'll show you this down here. So, cakes are kind of a Western idea of how you celebrate a birthday or a wedding. But in Korea, weddings and special occasions, birthdays are marked, important birthdays are marked by these decorations. It not necessarily made of like wheat and flour and not necessarily sweet. There's a mixture of things in here, nuts, and there's some meat. If you look at those ones, those have shrimp and octopus mixed in. This is a whole bunch of ginseng. And these are dried persimmons at the ends there. And beautiful decorations. It's often made into shapes like that. That might be for a wedding because it looks like two birds. And it's got chestnuts at the bottom. Now, of course, these are mock samples of the real thing. So you choose the design that you like, and then the guys in here will make it for you for real. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Okay, there's some random fire here. I'm not entirely sure why. Right, well, this place here is one of my favorite places to buy banchan, which is the Korean side dish that you'd have on the table. You know, I keep a bunch of these in my fridge. I just pull them out with a bowl of rice. I can have a different meal each time with various selection of things that I've got. And this place is the best, definitely. Yeah. Do you want to give one a try? 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Let's stop by. I'm feeling peckish. 혹시 촬영해도 돼요?
아, 그럼요.
네. 미국 감사합니다.
Thank you.
There you go. We got some yogurt to enjoy. Drinking yogurt to enjoy while we're choosing what we'd like to eat. Do you like crab?
This crab?
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Soft shell crab. Okay, Taeyoung. This is for you.
Can I taste it?
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
How is that? I have no idea how to work this thing. There you go. Meet our cameraman Taeyoung. Tell me, how's the crab? 어때요?
Excellent.
Excellent?
Yes.
Okay, well there you go. From the expert himself, this is excellent crab. Personally, I really enjoyed the garlic. I think that's really, the pickled garlic is really special. It's kind of sweet, and because it's been in that liquid for so long, it takes off a bit of the spicy edge that garlic can have.
Salt.
And it's got, yes, it's got salt in there too. Okay, well let's move on because there's plenty to see in the market. But I definitely recommend coming back here. You'll see in the pictures and the sign, the lady in the sign is actually there behind. That's the boss, 사장님, who's dishing away there, and she's a wonderful character, very friendly. 네. 다음에 또 뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다. 안녕하세요. So another thing that you can see here at the market, this market is famous for bindae-deok. Bindae-deok is over here being prepared. It's made with the bean, ground up bean that's in the bucket just there, and mixed with onions and various vegetables, and sometimes pork as well, and then fried in these frying trays. We will come over here and give these guys a try. So it looks like they've got some ready. 안녕하세요. So let's get one bindae-deok and one gogi wangjang. Yeah, let's do that. 고기 완자 하나랑 빈대떡 하나 주시겠어요?
언제 드세요?
바로.
바로?
네, 바로 먹을게요. 그리고 컵 안에 넣어주시겠어요? 네.
맞아요?
알겠습니다. 갔다 올게요. 얼마나 걸릴 것 같아요?
이거? 먼저 갔다 와요.
알겠어요. 갔다 올게요. While they're preparing that, let's go have a look around. So down here, you can see all the food stores selling different things. Well, similar things actually, similar to each other. There's plenty of customers to go around. So here we've got pork and like a sausage, Korean style sausage called sundae. 안녕하세요. We've got this red tteokbokki, spicy rice cake. We got the very famous tiny kimbaps, called mayak kimbap. It's a small roll, seaweed roll, with vegetables and rice inside. 안녕하세요. We have the odengguk, which is like a fish soup with fish cake in it, and those are chicken's feet. 맛있겠다. Chicken's feet mixed with pig skin. Oh, 감사합니다. Oh, look, there he is. There's Gordon Ramsay. Isn't that Gordon Ramsay? Yeah. I'm not sure.
Kate Marble.
Oh, Kate Marble. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And if you were to go into this establishment, you could get the yukhae, which is also the market's famous for, which is like a beef tartare. It's raw beef served with a raw egg, sesame seeds, and sesame seed oil, and sometimes it's mixed with a little bit of fresh Asian pear, which oh, it's really good. It's really good. And over there, you can see with the carrots on top, that's japchae, which is like a noodle made out of sweet potato with a soy sauce, soy sauce dressing, and it's a little bit sweet. Well, we should probably go back and finish up getting our food. See the bindae-deok over here. That's what we'll be having shortly. Can't wait. If you've never tried chicken feet, don't be put off. It's actually very delicious, chewy, very spicy. best enjoyed with a bottle of Korean rice wine, makgeolli, or soju. Soju is the stronger, clearer liquid. 준비됐나요?
네.
아.
젓가락이에요?
이렇게 나와요?
네.
혹시 하나만 시켰어요. 네.
1인분씩 하니까
네, 근데 올 때마다 하나만 준비해줘요.
하나 하니까
네.
안내를 해야 돼.
네, 죄송한데. 자전거 타니까 많이 못 먹어요.
6,000원.
So that's total of 6,000 won. 네, 주세요. 세 개 주시겠어요?
3개?
네.
6,000원이요? 카드요?
감사합니다. That's a total of 6,000 won. And what's that, about $6? Maybe $5? And that's a meal there. I had to persuade her to give me a little less. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 맛있게 드세요.
감사합니다. 또 올게요. That's a meal in there. Look at that.
아니 그럼 저기 하나 드셔도 되는데.
네. 우리 친구 밖에서 기다리고 있어서 우리 나가서 같이 먹을게요. 감사합니다.
안녕히 계세요.
안녕히 계세요. So she was inviting me to sit down and have a meal at the booth there, which we could have done, but Kevin's outside, so we'll go and give him some food as well. As we're walking out this way, you can see the jeon, the Korean pancakes. You see the pig's feet, and here we've got some fruit and fish and shoes, of course. And those green bottles in the cabinet there, that's soju. And these two gentlemen are drinking makgeolli, which is in the plastic green bottles, which is like, and is almost like a milky liquid, with about the alcohol strength of a beer, about 4%. Okay. 안녕하세요.
네, 가세요. 조심하세요.
Have some.
Okay, grub's up.
Let's have some.
Yeah, let's get some food.
Table.
Right. So I got the gogi wanja and a regular bindaedok, and it comes with this little side package of pickled onions, which really does cut the grease a lot. Oh, there you go.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'll open it up.
I had so many experiences.
Exploding. Oh, too much. All right. This is going to be a feast. I can see a trash can over there, so I'll be right back.
Right.
Yeah, come and eat, man. Okay. This is my favorite. It's got a little bit of pork in there. It's basically the same thing, but it's got a little bit of pork in it. And I like to have it with just a little bit of pickle as well. Bon appetit. Ooh. Mmm. Oh.
Kevin.
Mmm. Careful, mate, it's really hot.
This one is mung bean cake, and I'll try it. It's actually my grandpa. Really love this one.
Mm. So in England, there's the green peas that your parents forced you to eat when you were a kid. I never knew they were called mung bean until I came to Korea and I tried mung bean pancake. It took me a while to figure out what a mung bean was. Turns out it's those green peas that you get at home. The ones that you put on your, if you sprain your ankle, you get a packet of frozen peas from the freezer and put it on your ankle. Stop the swelling. Those are mung beans. Mm. Who would have known they were so good deep fried?
맛있구만. 난 먹고 와서 당신들이 먹으시오. 오랜만에 먹으니까 맛있네. 여기에 경빈의 숙주나물 믹스 숙주나물.
숙주나물?
Yeah. It's like one of the vegetable. It's kind of.
Is this This is bean sprouts, right?
맞아.
Bean
맞아.
sprouts.
맞아. Yes, it is.
콩나물. 콩나물, no?
콩나물.
콩나물.
It's kind of 콩나물.
Okay. So it's like 콩나물. It's like a bean sprout, but a little bit of a different twist on it. Maybe a different genre of plant.
너무 맛있어.
Oh.
내가 느끼다. 나안 먹어.
Sorry, guys.
너무 맛있어.
Priorities. So this is what riding in Seoul is like. When you ride in Seoul, it's really easy to gain weight. And there's this is just one of my many favorite dishes. If I had a big enough stomach, I'd take you to the donut store and the chapsal dok, which is like a deep fried rice cake store. If you didn't watch some of our other episodes, you'll have seen me visiting a few of those places in the past. But yeah, was really spoilt for choice. Which one's your favorite? The
What is it?
gogi wanja?
구이완자.
Gogi wanja, the meat one. Wow. Wow, that's a big piece of onion.
Good for you. Actually, good for it with makgeolli.
That's true. We saw some two gentlemen drinking makgeolli as we were coming out. It's like it's a rice-based alcoholic beverage, and it's when you look at it, you might mistake it for milk because it's creamy white. It's very thick. And you drink it out of a bowl. But the taste is. How would you describe the taste of makgeolli? It's kind of. It's not sweet. Yeah, no, Kevin's right actually. There are different kinds of makgeolli. Generally speaking, though, it's not sweet. It's more of a savory taste, isn't it? It's a drier taste. But there are sweet makgeollis as well. So.
Pumpkins, rice.
Right, and the chestnut makgeolli, that is very sweet.
Also peanut.
Peanut.
Ulundu peanut makgeolli. There's very different kinds of. They use a lot of very different kinds of natural.
And when it gets really sweet, it becomes known as Dongdaemun? Or is Dongdaemun something completely different?
Something more, a little bit lighter. The makgeolli is the bottom one.
Ah, I see. So there's layers. I see. So makgeolli is at the bottom of the barrel.
So, like ordinary people, like just common people who just want to try to drink some alcohol and
Right.
cheap,
Right.
plenty. The higher levels are more expensive, and amounts of the liquid is also not that much alike.
Okay, so it's kind of like a distillation process almost. So there's the majority of the liquid that comes out is the heavier liquid at the bottom, which is the makgeolli. It's the cheapest, and it's the rawest and roughest, and it's the cheapest. And then the liquid at the top is the finest, most refined. There's not a lot of it. It's the most expensive, and that's called Cheongju. And somewhere in the middle is Dongdaemun, which is a little lighter, a little bit more refined. But I find generally more sweet. But as I said, there are many, many different types. Okay, I'm full.
You're full?
I am
You
full.
didn't even finish 2 pieces of.
I'm full.
Let's finish this up, and we'll be heading on to our next stop, which is the Eastgate Market, which is a 24-hour shopping market, clothes shopping market. It's divided into two sections: the daytime and the nighttime. And the nighttime section is wholesale. So we're going to see a lot of people buying wholesale quantities of clothing. It's also the location of the East Gate to the city, the historic East Gate called Hungin-jimun. So we'll ride past that, and we'll also see Zaha Hadid's Dongdaemun Design Plaza, which is an amazing building, and even more beautiful at this hour when the light is fading. So hopefully we'll burn some of these calories as well.
Next time, let's drink some reusable dish, reusable chopstick. I don't want to waste our.
That's true. We've got to get organized and have some reusable cutlery and some tumblers. Normally I have a tumbler, but today I forgot it.
All right.
Okay guys, that was Gwanjang Shijang. Let's make a move. trying to put my lights on. Back into rush hour traffic. Unfortunately, on this main road, when you need the bike lane the most, it turns into a share road like this. So we're not separated from the traffic. However, honestly, you don't need to ride down this road. You could ride down the next road quite easily, and that has a whole separated, elevated bike lane. Through. Okay. I think we're going to give up on this, on the rush hour traffic on Jongno, and go back to Cheonggyecheon, the river, where the bike lane is a little bit more dedicated to bikes basically. So, your time getting through. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is much more pleasant. So looking ahead, looking to my left here, I can see people walking down by the Cheonggyecheon River, which is a place of choice to work. To my right is the beginning of the indoor markets. They are the day markets, so they're mainly closed right now. Lovely and cool. It's It's not hot at all. I feel like I can really stretch my legs today. But what we're going to see in just a moment is just behind those trees over there. You might just be able to make out the Eastgate, traditional structure that is the gate to the old city of Hanyang. And at this junction here, if we were to take a left, we'd go to that gate. If we were to take a right, we'd end up going in front of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza and to really the heart of the Eastgate Market area. We're actually going to go straight through the junction, and we're going to kind of take a back alley, a back road into the market area. But as we go through the junction, I'm sure Taeyong will show you guys the gates as we go through. This neighborhood has been affected a lot in recent years, not only by the COVID situation, but also just because of the increase in costs of manufacturing in Korea and the increased competition from abroad. So Korean fashion is still really big around the world, and this is where you come to buy your wholesale Korean fashion. So people do travel from China and Malaysia and all over the world to come shop here. There's a shop in London on Liverpool Street that buys all of its stuff from this market and takes it to London. So, you know, it's still up there at the top of Korean fashion. But when you can produce styles, copy styles for cheaper in other countries, Japan, China and Vietnam, it started cutting into the market here. And finally, with COVID, it stopped people coming in almost entirely. Oh, Taeyong, Eastgate.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's Hungin-jimun. We're looking at the side of it. The side with the road and the cars is the inside of the gates where we are right now. And the side with the church is the outside of the gate. Oh wow, look behind us as well. Isn't that a view and a half? The sun setting to the west. That's where we came from. That's Jongro and Junggu districts. And now we're in Dongdaemun-gu. We'll be heading back that way shortly. Dongdaemun Design Plaza. 차 너무 많아서. Okay. Let's do it. All right. Freedom! We've made a right turn off the Changchun Road since traffic along the main street in front of the and what we're seeing across the road there is the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, which is Zaha Hadid's 2014 architectural prize-winning building, and it's built on the location of what used to be here was a baseball stadium. It's built in the 80s or something. It wasn't very British at all, as this is a much more interesting structure. and a place that is not just used for the stadium was, but also used as a museum, as a subway station. There's a conference center, and it's also just a really awesome public space, as you'll soon discover. As this are individually made, no two tiles is the same. Like 55,000 tiles. We briefly go in here. See this little glimpse of the use of the building on the inside over the wall here. So if you look over the wall, you can see this plaza down below. It's a large open. Okay, guys, let's take a stroll through. So we're entering into what seems to be the belly of the building, but it's actually just a gate through this main front structure and into the rear of the building. I'd say there's three main parts of this building. There's the below area, which we showed you earlier. There's the rear of the building, which is like a big park with lots of grass and trees. And then there's the rooftop of the building as well, which some areas you can access, others areas you can't. But the rooftop of the building has is a garden. Of course, the inside of the building, which has various uses. One of them is a shopping mall, which is where our cameraman has currently gone to use the loo. I'll show you one of my favorite viewpoints in the building, which is just down here. This is a ramp leading down into the heart of the building, and it's just got this pretty awesome multi-level thing going on. Okay. Oh, that's me. There we go. Okay. Let's go back up, walk back up and around to the side entrance of the building, the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, which is just around here. The English name to this is the Dongdaemun History and Culture Park. There you go. And what you can see here in this view is we're looking over the grounds that I was referring to earlier. to the malls and markets on the other side, and you can just about make out the large tower with lights on it, and those are the remains of the stadium that was here before this Dongdaemun Design Plaza was built, and is left here as a reminder of that history. The stadium was built on top of the old city wall, and so when this Dongdaemun Design Plaza was being built, they of course discovered the city wall to make a feature of the city wall and other archaeological artifacts found below. So if we peek over this wall, we'll see some more remains dating back to the Joseon dynasty that were uncovered during the construction of this building. So Zaha Hadid had a tough task kind of adjusting to the nature of building in Seoul. When you scratch the surface in Jongno or in this historic region, Dongdaemun-gu or Junggu, you're bound to find something from the past, and those things archaeologically should be preserved and recorded and maybe even displayed for future generations. Well, looks like it's just you and me, guys, so let's take a short trip to the rooftop level, I would call, of the Dongdaemun Culture Park, DDP. So here we are on the rooftop. In the distance there, you can just make out the Namsan Tower behind the buildings. That's the N Tower, the southern extent of the city. And panning around this way, you can see the rooftop of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, the daytime malls, Migloore, Dusan Tower, Duta. And then as we continue around, we then leave the daytime markets and we go into the night markets where Cheil Pyeonghwa Market is, and the Bell Post over this kind of side of the Dongdaemun area is night markets. And we'll be heading out that way shortly, so you'll get to see all the wholesale nighttime shopping. Where's Kevin? Okay. He's on his way. So we'll take a walk down this way towards leading back out to Cheonggyecheon River, and as I said, through the nighttime markets. It's very quiet today. You get a little bit more activity in the Dongdaemun Design Plaza over the weekends and on weekday evenings, but because today's Friday, I think people have got other plans. It's a cool place to hang out after work, just for a few hours before you go home, or on the weekend if you've got like the whole day to hang out and sit in the sun, go for a small picnic, and this is a great place to visit as well. So you might be wondering, these bags and those bags over there, this is not trash, it's not being thrown away. This is something a wholesale order that people have bought, and they'll be delivered to a shop in Seoul at some point. It's wonderful here in Korea that You can just leave your wares out in the street like this and no one's going to bother with them. Nice and secure. As you saw earlier, I could park my bike and leave it. You know, things sometimes happen, but the majority of the time I'd be confident to leave my bike here unlocked and go and do some shopping, as I did at the market, the food market. Let's cross over. Oops. I better call Kevin and tell him where we are. Call Kevin. Come and join us. We're at the Changchun River, where we know the bridge that kind of breaks into two, has two halves. Yeah, okay. See you soon. And there you go again. That looks like it's full of handbags. Just patiently waiting to be picked up. That one, I don't know what that is, but it's not trash. Looks like it's got scarves in it. These are the city scooters. I don't know how well these do in England. I know we've got them, the city share scooters, but in Korea they're really in immaculate condition, nicely parked on the sidewalk. This looks like shoes. This guy's selling plastic bags and coat hangers. So this interesting bridge divides into two. And from this vantage point here, you can see all the way back the lights of Dongdaemun market, nighttime market shopping area, Shinpyeonghwa fashion town, and you can see a lot of people are walking down at the stream level, and they could have walked down there all the way from the beginning of our tour. There's children running and playing down there, and what we can't see is in the water there are fish and birds and a lot of wildlife associated with this. The amazing thing is that this river was covered up in the 60s, 70s. It was covered up and made into a big road, and it wasn't uncovered and restored to its current condition again until 2005. And it cost a fortune. I think there was a little bit of corruption, or a little bit of things didn't go according to plan anyway, and it cost an absolute fortune, which infuriated the citizens of Korea. However, now I think everyone will agree that it really is a wonderful space, and and they're glad to have it. If you were to continue down the other way, something just flew up my shorts. If you were to continue down to the east here, you'd eventually get to the Han River. I would say we're probably at about the halfway point. Wow, look at that. That's what flew up my shorts. You see it? Just freaks me out. It's a praying mantis. It flew up my shorts and then it landed on my arm. There it is. So yeah, as I was saying, lots of wildlife at the river here. Right, well, here's our ride. We're going to join the bicycle lane. We're going to head back to Jongdo and eventually end up at a place called Ikseongdong, which is famous for the traditional Korean housing that's been made into commercial spaces like coffee shops, etc. It's kind of a cool and popular hangout spot. So hopefully we'll be able to ride through. Just got to get my passenger off my bike. Go on. Maybe it will just come off as I'm riding.
Let's go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, here we go. 잘했습니다. Hey, well that was quick. We're almost back at, well, we are back at the Gwangjang Market at the moment, off to the left there. I think the traffic is getting a little lighter, slowly dissipating. Probably got another hour before it comes, before we get out of rush hour. So we'll cut back through the Seoul Plaza, and this time we'll cross that busy road, Jongno, and go towards a historic structure called Jongmyo, which is old historic building from the Joseon dynasty. Look, still got my passenger. Happy just chilling there. See it, Taeyeon? Still got my passenger. It's catching a ride. Do they bite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. Okay, guys. So, with the bike lane being on the left-hand side of the road, it causes all kinds of confusion because normally we would be able to cross with the pedestrians, and I think we still can cross with the pedestrians, but because we're on the left-hand side of the road, it isn't as clear. We're separated from the crosswalk as a cyclist. But honestly, really can't complain about the bike lanes, and so. Okay, here we go, cutting back through the Seoul Plaza. And it's quite different now that it's all closed down. Very quiet. There's a maze of back alleys behind these buildings, which are quite spooky at this time of night, dimly lit and very narrow. Now, I wouldn't recommend them as safe, but I also wouldn't say that they were dangerous either. You know, I don't think you're putting yourself at massive amounts of risk by going and exploring. So Kev, what is this structure in front of us, Jongmyo? What was its original function? Let's take it. Uh-huh.
Important to serve your ancestors.
Right.
So ancient king, starting from first generation to last, and they and it's called 동묘 제례. It has a special ceremony
Uh-huh.
every year. Special ceremony for their ancestor who passed away.
I
So
see.
This is the place for that ceremony. It's kind of ceremony hall.
There's
Understand it easily.
a ceremonial hall and almost a shrine to the ancestors, the old kings, the past kings. And so only the kings or just the royal family in general? Only the king,
Not the king,
not the queen.
not the princess.
It's a massive area. I've actually never been into Jongmyo, but it's a massive area. It's almost the size of the size of a palace, really.
Interestingly, when you only have a timetable, there's only certain time you can enter it.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you go, they don't let you in if you're not in the schedule.
So do you have to book?
Pre-book recommended.
Right.
You can get a ticket instantly, but you probably have to be pre-checked the timetable. There is only 4 or 5 times it's allowed to go inside.
Should we go down this way? I think we can go down here. This is along the wall of the Jongmyo shrine to our right, and on the left are some bars and restaurants. That really, this is the start of Ikseong-dong, the neighborhood Ikseong-dong. And as you can see, the theme is kind of old traditional architecture, but commercial spaces, coffee shops and bars. Heritage Cove, coffee and bar. Wow, look at this one, fancy. I think that's a jewelry shop. That looks like a wine bar, Italian restaurant. As we come out here, we can cross over and into the main area of Ikseong-dong. This guy is going the wrong way. That's actually an entrance there. Let's go in this next one. So if we take this alley in, you'll see there's the nature of this neighborhood. You know, it's kind of bougie, it's kind of fancy, and it's very, very decorative. You know what? I'm going to take you down this way. Follow me. Yeah. So immediately what you'll see is there's these old Hanok houses that have been opened up into dining areas, and originally the land use wasn't like this. The cavity below the floor there would have been, these walls they wouldn't have been glass, they would have been completely covered up. and you wouldn't be able to see inside in this way. But it's been decorated, shall we say, by exposing the beauty of the building, the bones of the building. Needless to say, this is rather fancy dining. And you're probably paying mainly for the interior. This is,
Oh,
is it a spa?
cafe? Cafe.
It's a cafe. Cafe spa. Well, normally we can go around that way, but it's been blocked. So let's go back again. This neighborhood is kind of a new trend, so it's perpetually changing. The streets access and due to construction, we often find that our way is blocked. Wow, look at those. What we'll probably find down here, Taeyong, is that we're probably the only two guys in this neighborhood right now, apart from those three there at the whiskey bar. The clientele here is predominantly female, and they're out with their female friends, enjoying an evening out. So a lot of the clothing shops, of course, also selling female attire. There's a little microbrewery here. And as we enter this corner of the neighborhood, you'll see lots of meat places, lots of barbecue. It's called kalmegi sal, which direct translation is seagull meat, but it's not seagull meat. It's actually a cut from pork. And then there's also samgyeopsal, which is the pork belly cut. It's grilled in these restaurants here. I believe this place is famous for cheesecake, I think. Here, more clothing shops. And it's just constantly happening. This one's under construction, that one will be open next week. It's ongoing. This used to be a residential neighborhood just a number of years ago. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, this was all 주택이었지? 5년 전?
Almost 5 years.
5 years ago, yeah. And now, no, nobody lives here now. It's spaghetti and pasta and accessories. and clothes shopping. And this was a deliberate move. This was something that was sponsored by the city to try and rejuvenate this neighborhood, which the city felt was getting run down. And of course, this originally a very poor neighborhood. Now, real estate prices here are through the roof. They jumped fivefold in just the first few years of development. The first year of development, the price has jumped fivefold in this neighborhood. Now this is interesting. This is kind of a modern twist, or a retro twist on the traditional Korean clothing called the hanbok. I want to say it's a modern twist, but it almost has like a 50s feel to it. So I'd say a retro, what did they say, neutral?
Neutral.
Neutral, there you go, that's the word.
Retro mixed in.
New and retro mixed together, the neutro twist. Okay, well, I think you get the idea. Welcome to Ikseongdong. Let's get out of here. Unless you want to buy a dress. Where are we meeting? Where's Kevin? I wonder.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know where it is. I should make it.
Near the samuso? Okay.
Go in there.
I'll give him a call.
All right.
Call Kevin. It's the theme of the tour to get lost.
Pretty much just telepathy.
Yeah. Hi, where are you? Where are you? Where we started? 세무소? 6번 출구?
Bingo.
Oh, okay. Actually, we're at Makers at 4번 출구. Okay. All right. See you soon. Okay. There he is at 종로 3가. 종로 3가 3가 Tapgol Park subway station, exit number 4. In front of the Makers Hotel, you'll find a little alley that will take you into Ikseongdong. Okay, well, we're going to go straight through this building that's called Nagwanzanga. Nagwanzanga is another interesting building, much like Seoul Plaza. The road goes beneath it in the same fashion. It's built in the same period, and it's undergone some redevelopment recently, so there's now like a really cool cinema on the top floor, but it's famous for musical instruments. So particularly string instruments, you can buy and get them repaired here. We are going to go into a neighborhood, a street called Insadong, which during the day is a market street, It's famous for selling antiques and normally full of tourists buying Korean souvenirs and old things, antiques, furniture, old coins, and some things not quite so old as well. There's a lot of shops featuring K-pop stickers and badges, cups and that kind of thing on this street. So it's a lot of fun. And we're gonna just cut through the street in Sadong to get to the temple, which is known as Jogesa. Jogesa is the center, well, arguably one of the most important temples in Korea, in that it's the center, the headquarters of the Jogae order of Buddhism here in Korea, which is the most commonly followed. There's actually quite a few people here today, I'm surprised. Normally it's quite dead, ever since Corona. So just out from this alley here, and we'll be entering just across the road from the palace, and I think we'll probably bring our tour to a close here, not at the palace, at the temple. Let's go in and take a wander around. So, should we wrap up the tour at the temple here? We'll go out to the front and we'll say goodbye. The temple's pretty cool at night with it's all lit up, quite atmospheric. Actually, it's quite a large area. There's the temple worship area, which is divided into 3 or 4 sections on this side. There's offices as well, further to the left behind these buildings. On the right-hand side, there's a Buddhism museum. And behind us, there's a temple stay center, which also has a Michelin star restaurant on the 5th floor, serving temple food. Here we are entering through the main gate of the temple, with the 4 guardians of Buddha around, each carrying a certain virtue. I believe, I think it's wisdom, happiness on my left, and over to the right there's longevity and wish fulfillment. And I've got to admit, wish fulfillment's, that's my favorite one. Carrying dragons and holding fire. He's pretty awesome. I'm crossing over this bridge, over the water, and entering another world. Here we can see the lotus flower, symbol of Buddhism. Something that lives in very murky water and emerges with beauty. And to the rear there, all lit up, is Sar Temple. In the foreground of Sar Temple is this beautiful tree, a wonderful an ancient organism. That tree dates back over 500 years. It's a lace-bark pine, one of few in Korea, certainly few of that age. And in front of the tree, you can see a donation box in front of the happy Buddha there. You can put your money in to the donation box. It's an offering to the temple. And if you don't have any cash, don't worry. Because just over here, there's a machine that accepts credit card. Looking inside the temple at night, you can really make out it's not nice. It's not great to go in during the daytime because this is a place of active worship, so you don't really want to disturb people. But in the nighttime, you can stand out in the front. Come over here, stand out in the front. You can see clearly inside, all lit up. You see the fish motif above the congregation outside here. You can see the three Buddhas: health, benevolence, and forgiveness, featured on the inside. And sometimes you can watch a ceremony that's broadcast on TV across the whole nation from here as well. So it's pretty cool. And at this really wonderful, peaceful point on this perfect evening, I'm going to bid you farewell. Thank you for joining us today, and hope that you join us again on our next tour. If you haven't seen the morning e-bike tour, then join us next time for the morning e-bike tour and check out Seoul in the morning. It's a lot of fun. So from myself, goodbye, and Kev and Taeyong. Kev, next morning e-bike tour is
Next week Friday.
Next week Friday.
6:30 a.m. in Korean time. Hope we updated a little bit more, and hope we invited another foreign guest can share our tour with their own language. Looking for someone who's studying in South Korea, especially in Seoul, for transfer student, Chinese, Taiwanese, Malaysian, Dutch people, anyone is okay. Just apply for our tour, and we'll guide you at that morning.
Okay, you heard it here first. If you're interested in joining our tour next Friday and you're from another country, a non-English speaking country, because I speak English, no one's taking my job. If you're from a non-English speaking country, Taiwan, China, Japan, anywhere, please apply, get in touch with us, let us know, and join our tour. It'd be really great to have you along with the new perspective, an international perspective, and an extra language to our tour. Okay, have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.